think it's great just to think like, what would you say if somebody he's like, I know, 17 years old right now? What would you tell him? What does he need to know in order to start his career?
Well, I- I'm so worried about coming off and sounding like Gary Vaynerchuk in the audio. Are you familiar with? It's so weird that
Gary
people are
V.
like Gary V.
Yeah.
Like he does make a lot of really great points, and I think specifically one of the things that he says is like, go out there and just make stuff. And there's a point where that's not true, and there's some people that I consistently have seen make stuff for years. So like there was this one guy on LinkedIn. It's not like he's watching now. It's fine. So he used to always record videos with this super tight shirt on. His nipples were like sticking straight out, and he would be working out and just talking for 10 minutes at the camera, and you would see like no engagement. And he did this for I think it was well over a year, and it was so fascinating to see like wow, like it doesn't phase you that nobody's engaged. You haven't mixed it up at all. It's just, here is my pure unfiltered life, and I'm speaking just kind of the same motivational things. It didn't get him anywhere. And I do see that with certain types of people that are making stuff that just doesn't work. And I think sometimes there's this kind of chasm of, I don't know, like I don't want to say like the damn younger kids these days, but there is a bit of that. So like the kids these days are told like, hey, so long as your heart's in it, you can do no wrong. And if you love what you do, sisterhood of the traveling pants, all these like silly things. Like, look, if you make like obnoxious, uninteresting, really poorly thought through and put together stuff, nobody cares. And I think we've seen this really exponentially with podcasts. I've seen a lot of this with like TikTok channels that just don't take off, because the reality is if you're not mixing it up, trying different things, constantly iterating, you're putting out the same garbage and you haven't learned anything new. I think the thing that makes something exceptional is it stands out in a really unique way. There was this one guy I went to school with, and Roy Edwards, great dude, and he's been building a podcast now for the last year, and I think he's just getting up to about 1,000 followers, which, hey, like way to go. That's pretty good. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I was watching this channel on TikTok where this guy had been feeding a seagull that was outside of his window for the last, I think it was 30 days. And he had something like 100,000 followers on just TikTok and close to 1 million on YouTube. And it's like, look, man, the
Yeah.
amount of effort that one puts into this versus that, but there's something to it,
Yeah,
like
I have
there's
to tell
something
you
there.
something really funny. I have young kids, and we have our favorite YouTuber, and he's a tortoise. He's a turtle,
Okay.
and he's just eating watermelon, and that's it. And we love seeing him, because
There you
he's
go.
taking the sound, and he's like, and
Yeah.
it's like we're just going and watching this turtle. And sometimes you say like, why do I watch this turtle? I don't
Yeah.
know. I really don't know. Sometimes something is catching your attention, and it's like, and we're just sitting together, me and the kids. And it's like it doesn't make sense. But
No,
this is what we're doing sometimes, not all day, but sometimes we're
of
going to
course.
see it. So sometimes you don't know what will catch.
Well, they've
this uh,
certainly tapped
this
into
channel,
something
they
there.
they they have like an iguana and a turtle and squirrels and then whatever, but the turtle is like number one.
I think it's
Which is so
fascinating that,
funny.
yeah, that could be like a whole like following, and maybe you're not able to immediately monetize that, but I guarantee you there's something there that they figured out, and that's probably more watchable than a lot of the other things that people are pushing out at scale. So it's
Yeah.
something to think about and tease out, what is there in this that people are gravitating towards? Can I do something that is a version of this mixed with something else? And I
you
think if
know
you tap into
what
that,
what
go
comes
ahead.
to my mind is enthusiasm. You see people engage and really into what they're doing, and it's catching, like, and you don't have this motivation. like all this enthusiasm, you don't have that in very calm environment, stable environment. There's something in this unease that you get when you go into these kinds of channels, or TikTok channels or YouTube channels, and you see these young people so engaged in what they're doing, and you cannot, like, you cannot ignore it. And it's so important when you're doing something and you're enjoying it,
Yeah.
and you see that they're enjoying what they're doing, right? So it's so important. And for me, just thinking about people expressing themselves authentically in something that interests them is so much more than just, going to your work, doing your job, getting paid. It's like very structured. And you see the gig economy is growing. I had one chapter about the gig economy. Everything is like very fast moving and changing very fast, and
Sure.
doing this and this and this, and not only one thing. 20 years, my parents worked in the same place for 20, 30 years. And it's like it's changing and it's like enabling people to express their talents better, I guess, and which is great, I think.
Yeah, I mean,